understanding of the Quran which is extracted from the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. And the command here to remember this or to recite this in your houses, it entails the recitation of the Quran and understanding the meaning of the Quran and pondering and reflecting over the Quran and what it means. He said, as this is the goal of the revelation of the Quran. The Quran was revealed to be pondered and reflected over, not to just recite. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, كِتَابٌ أَنزَلْنَاهُ إِلَيْكَ مُبَارَكٌ لِيَدَّبَّرُوا آيَاتِي وَلِيَذَّكَّرَ أُولُو الْأَلْبَابِ. That this is a kitab, a book that we have sent down to you, Mubarak. It is a blessed book, in order that you ponder and reflect over its ayats, and that you remind, or that those who have intellect are reminded. And this is found in Surah 38, ayah 29. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says at the end of the ayah, Wallahu latifun khabir. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is latif, He is merciful, He's gentle, and He is khabir, He is all aware of what goes on in your households. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clarifying addressing the Muslim women how to conduct your household. What should be done in your houses? As the address here is directly to the women. وَاذْكُرْنَا مَا يُتْلَى فِي بُيُوتِكُنَّ مِنْ آيَاتِ اللَّهِ وَالْحِكْمَةِ. And recite in your houses the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the sunnah of His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Here again, clarifying to the Muslim woman that at some point in your life, while you're at home, you should devote some of your time to reading the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is here again encouraging the Muslim women to learn, to seek knowledge, and to act upon that knowledge in their household. And that's for two reasons, as some of the ulama mentioned, that number one, لأن المرأة المسلمة اليوم في مختلف البقاع تعيش على مفترق الطريق وأعداء الإسلام جعلوها هدفا من أهدافهم لعلمهم المسبق أن المرأة المسلمة هي القائمة على البيت المسلم وكذلك المجتمع المسلم. And some of the ulama of tafsir, they said that this is because the Muslim woman today, number one, no matter where she's at, she is always the objective of the enemies of Islam. When the Orientalists and secularists and other peoples from other different ethnic groups or religious groups or political groups who have agendas against Islam or an agenda with Islam, when they attack Islam, the first thing that they attack in Islam is the Muslim woman. That's the first thing they attack. She's oppressed, she's ignorant, there's no equality. This is the first thing that they attack when they attack Islam, is the Muslim woman. Showing you or encouraging the Muslim women to learn about their role as Muslim women and to propagate that. Because many of the kuffar women, they believe that we oppress our women. And we can tell them all day long we don't oppress our women. But it's nothing like them hearing it from our women themselves. And honestly, if you search the internet, you'll find that Muslim women who may or may not be Salafi, they are busy. They have a magazine. They have magazines that have come out. I'm forgetting the name of the magazine. One of the sisters in the UK. No, I can't remember. It's a magazine that comes out on a monthly basis. And if you look at the magazine, it looks exactly like not exactly like, but it's structured like an ebony magazine. That thick, and it has nothing but Islamic information about the women. They're busy. While our sisters, mashallah, you say you're Salafi, 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 but where is the propagation of that Salafi? Where is it? I mean, when we invite non-Salafis or people who do not ascribe to the methodology of the Salaf to our conferences and lectures, all they get when they come there is that the Salafi sisters can't control their children. They're talking during the lectures. What do they think about the sisters that call themselves Salafi? And she may not wear black, she may not have on any niqab. But she's coming and she's watching how you conduct yourselves, and then she leaves and say, I have no business in those type of circles, and I will never attend another one of those gatherings. Because the sisters have to start to understand that when we have conferences and lectures, not everybody that's coming is Salafi. And they're watching you, and they're looking at how you conduct yourselves. And I mean, subhanAllah, some of the stuff that goes on amongst the sisters in the back, Wallah musta'an, yani haddath wala haraj. Yani so much stuff, the ghiba and the namima and the fighting and the arguing, and then you got people who are not Salafi, who just come into Salafiyya. She may have on niqab, you may not know her. You may think that she's one of the local Salafi masajid, and she may not even be Salafi. She just come in, she was invited, she saw the flyer, she comes, she sits, and she's observing around her what's going on. And then she says to herself, I will never attend another one of those gatherings. And then later on, something is put on the internet about the Salafi circles and the gatherings of knowledge and what goes on amongst them. So number one, it is an encouragement to the Muslim women to gain the knowledge of Islam, to defend the role of the Muslim woman in Islam. Because those who have an agenda with Islam, or those who have are enemies to Islam, the first thing they attack is the Muslim woman and her role. And because of the fact that they know that they know that the Muslim woman is the queen of her household, and that the first education of the children starts with the woman. They know this and they understand this. And this is why everything that we see in this society here is directed or geared towards the women. To pull them out of their houses, to make them believe that they're equal with men, to make them believe that they have the same responsibilities as men. A woman does not have this in Islam. The woman does not have the same responsibilities as men. The woman is not responsible for going out and providing for her family, unless she's single. If you're single and you have children, then of course you are the sole provider of your children. And if it was your fault that you got divorced or got a khula from your husband unjustly or hastily, then that is your fault. And you are responsible. So now you take the Muslim man's role because of your negligence or because of your hastiness in asking for a khula. But if you're married, then the Muslim man, he's the one that is responsible for that. The Muslim woman does not have the same responsibilities as the Muslim men. But this society makes you believe that you do. And when you do that, you start to feel like you are above the man, or you are on the same level as the man. And as a result of that, you have no respect for a man. And as a result of that, you can't keep a man. And so the kuffar, they understand that the Muslim woman, how vital her role is in the religion of Islam, and how vital her position is as it relates to a Muslim community. And the second reason is that the woman, as we mentioned, she's encouraged to learn the Islamic information, as we don't stop the women from learning secular knowledge, but we want them to prioritize and to dedicate just as much or even more of their time learning Islamic information. But at the same token, we do not encourage the sisters to be ignorant of the secular knowledge either. Because when we talk about opening up Muslim schools for our children, many of our daughters, if we're opening up a Muslim school and we have daughters, of course we believe in the separation of the sexes. For our daughters, we're going to need Muslim women who have degrees. You can't open up a school with sisters who just, alhamdulillah, they're good sisters, they come to the masjid and pray. But you're talking about running a school, having an administrative body, having a principal, having all of these things, especially if we're talking about separation of sexes and we have an all-girls school. We're going to need, who we're going to need to teach them? If your daughter is 16, 17 years old in high school, who we going to need to teach them? Abdullah, Muhammad in the masjid? No. We're going to need the sisters. And in order to do that, in order for the school to get cleared by the Board of Education and all of the other strings that come attached with that, we need sisters that have degrees, sisters that have education. And Islam doesn't prevent the women from having education.